G'day. I've got a poem to share with you today. I thought I'd talk a little bit about the idea of hell and how religion has created this idea of hell to, I guess, control us through fear, to stay in line and you know keep attending and financially supporting. Um, Growing up, I'm the son of a Uniting Church minister here in Australia, and um, it wasn't really part of my upbringing. This idea of hell. Um, my dad was very open-minded and um, very good at talking about the other aspects of religion or relationship with Christ, I guess, um, and talking about love and how we help other people in that way, rather than worrying too much about the old saying or the old teachings about hell and condemnation and hellfire and all that sort of stuff. My mum was much the same too. So it wasn't really a part of my upbringing as a child, but of course, when I went out into the world and joined youth groups from different churches and different denominations, this idea of hell and condemnation was filtering through in what they were teaching us. And I mean, they were always looking for that great conversion moment where you turn from the devil and fall in tears at the altar and give your life to Christ and all that sort of thing, which never sat quite right with me. Um, I felt it was a little bit manufactured, and especially when it came to them so supposedly talking in tongues and all this waving your arms around in the air and praise God and all this sort of stuff, and none of that felt real to me. That felt very shallow. It didn't sort of address my need for understanding spirituality, and so I eventually stopped going to youth groups and being involved in that kind of worship. I didn't stop going to church so much, but in fact, I ended up running a youth group at the church that I was involved with for a while, but we didn't get into all that sort of stuff. It was more about, just teaching kids that they were wanted and loved, and doing fun things together, and maybe talking a bit on the spiritual side of things, getting them thinking about the deeper questions. So yeah, I'll share my poem with you, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So the poem's called "Escaping Hell." Why don't you condemn me to hell? I reckon that might do it, because the things I say might challenge you. Not sure if you'll get through it. Let the devil burn me in his fires. Let demons pluck my eyes. Remove me from your pious ways built on religious lies. Because that's the way your God of love treats those who he created, especially if we miss Sunday school, or worse, we masturbated. With your long, long lists of mortal sins to offend your fragile God, make sure you beat the hell out of me with your judgmental rod. Well, if you choose to live in fantasies and define yourselves through fear, good luck to you on your judgment day, because it ain't happening here. Your early church made up this crap to manipulate and control, to put the fear of God in us by tethering our souls, to keep us in their clutches, and to finance themselves as well by scaring us into towing the line, or we'll be cast into their hell. With a devil under every rock and demons everywhere, with every bump in the middle of the night, isn't it time we grew a pair? Isn't it time for us to grow up and let go those ancient lies? Because the truth is, we're eternal and no one ever dies. There is no hell to be scared of. There is nothing at all to fear. We are the expressions of Source itself, love manifested here. As Source, nothing can harm us, not fools' imaginations, This hell is just the product of their very own creation. So release the fear and walk away. Raise your vibration far above. Transform yourselves and your beliefs by seeking only love. For love is all there ever was. There never was a hell. So let go of that old worn out lie, 'cause as love, all's forever well. And so through this poem, I guess I'm expressing the fact that we need to move away from that old antiquated idea, those things that were made up by the early church fathers to control people and to keep them in line, and probably invest their money into the church to keep the leaders of the church in a comfortable way of living. And I guess also there was that idea of safety in numbers. I mean, if there's enough follow their way, well, then they feel bolstered and they feel secure. Yeah, it's time to drop that crap. It really is. It's time for us to actually start understanding who we are as expressions of Source itself. And God isn't some judgmental being sitting on a cloud with a long white beard holding thunderbolts and throwing them at us every time we dare to do something that the church tells us is a sin. God is actually an energy. It's the underlying energy of the universe that flows through all of us, the creative energy that gives life to everything. And the sooner we realise that we're not going to be judged as bad people, and that we're all going to end up in the same place in the end. We came from love, we return to love. I mean, what sort of God of love is going to create somebody and then condemn them to eternal hell? I mean, that just doesn't even add up to me. That's ridiculous. That's a fairy tale. So I think we just need to get far more in tune with understanding ourselves as expressions of Source, and what that means for our lives, and start to learn to live in a much freer way, not through this fear of judgment and condemnation, and feeling like that if we do anything wrong, we're going to be judged. I mean, sin is an archery term. It actually means to miss the mark. So you sin if you don't hit the target. So sin is just a way of teaching us to redirect our aim. We know within ourselves whether something works or something doesn't, whether it's hurting other people, whether it's causing problems in our lives. That's us sinning. That's us missing the mark of who we're truly meant to be. Best way to get back online is by basically getting to know our spiritual self, and best way to do that, of course, is doing things like meditating and just being still and listening to what Source within is teaching us, and also listening to as many great inspirational speakers, or reading books and things like that actually get us thinking in the right direction, and less likely to do things which are less helpful to us. So yeah, let's move beyond that idea of hell. Let's actually start thinking about how love can transform lives rather than fear. Fear only ever keeps us trapped. It keeps us chained. Love frees us. So start learning to live as though we are expressions of love, because that's what we are. And the sooner we realise that, the sooner we bring that into being, the sooner we can actually start living happy lives and free lives, and change the lives of people around us. It's that old osmosis thing. The more we give love, the more it spreads to other people. The more they give love, the more it spreads to other people, and it snowballs. So I think it's important that we move beyond that old idea of hell and condemnation. It's just a load of garbage. And start being free. Start being happy, for goodness sake. I mean, we're not here to be miserable and afraid. We're here to be happy. So let's try it. I reckon it's a good idea. All right, I'll leave you with that. Be love. See ya.